streak. They're looking pretty good. LNG at the moment, they're in dire straits. The reason being that LNG as a team are on 4 and 7. 11 games played, 5 more to go. They can only hit a maximum of 9 series wins. This is a must-win against FPX, and the road doesn't even stop there. But for FPX, if they find the series win here, they will secure second for now, right under Invictus Gaming.
And LNG have given them a very LNG-style composition to do this with, but a very difficult composition to execute with. These Cosmic Radiances have to be on point. FLICKR needs to find these great flanks. And if FPX can get off to an early start here, they can shut down a lot of this pressure from LNG. So my eyes in this early game for FPX will be towards Tien and watching how this Trundle makes his way around the map.
It's a pretty sick chroma that we're zooming in on. And reason we're zooming in on Doumbé as well, it's fleet footwork in the mid lane here from the Corki with a defensive option. Also going for Inspiration second, Exhaust taken as well. And I'm curious about the build because if we talk about Doumbé as a player, he's very innovative. We talk about the dark technologies. You remember with the Rise, he made the Righteous Glory build famous. That was his invention. And so this game, I want to see what happens because we've been seeing a lot of Manamune Corki, a lot of the Mirror Mana, before the Trinity Force. As we saw first time on Misfits Featherven, actually bought it out in their playoff series against Rogue. So we'll see what we get here from Doumbé in game 1.
Going with the fleet footwork at least. Doumbé realizes that this is not the most favorable of matchups in the mid lane. Try and keep himself nice and healthy and topped up in this early game. Going with the exhaust as well. So this is where Maple, if he can get this early pressure against Doumbé, can look to make these TP plays happen and dissuade the likes of this 4-man dive we're talking about, or 3-man dive from FPX.
As we've seen, teams have been really good at shutting down FPX in the early game when they've dissuaded those set dives. Dazzle going to come through, but this is a simple trade. Light starting out here in game 1. Everyone knows Asura here on LNG, who's been with them since last year. But Light has been with the Snake organization for a couple of more years, but you don't always see the light of day on him. I apologize for that one. Has gone for the lethal tempo here in Callista. Game number 1 rather than the Halo Blades we normally see.
This means that he's not looking for these quick trades in the early game, looking instead more towards this single target damage that he can try and get off, or at least the higher attack speed, he can get off in the later stages of the game, not opting for this super quick turnaround with the Halo Blades you can work for. So now, we'll start to see if LNG can hit the mid-game in their stride.
Just having a look towards the top side though, deep forward by Tien, he's now walked through mid. Maple has used the distortion. He might be caught out here and have to burn the flash over the pillar just in time. But now exhaust for flash, the trade favorable for FPX.
Well, certainly is, although Doumbé is relatively low here, so still needs to be careful that Maple trading onto him, especially with the electrocute. But this is always the case for Tien in this early game. He loves to play around Doumbé, get Doumbé set up, and then start to transition top.
Yep.
Like, Doumbé is the focus part of this team. It's why we talk about him all the time. He has a 30% of the team's damage on average for FPX.
Opening him up to make the other options available across the map. Speak of the devil, LNG's jungler XX now positions towards the bottom side. This Olaf is level 4. He's done a mighty fast clear as Tien does scuttle. They're not going to spot each other out, but now XX knows that Tien is bottom side. Dazzle, 2-man. They're going to get behind the Brom here onto LWX. He has Severum, but has to burn the heal. Great trade from bottom lane of LNG.
Managing not quite to push LWX out, is hoping to try and farm back up a bit of that health with the Severum in his back pocket. Looking towards the top side of the map though, Tien getting his second Scuttle Crab of the game. So yes, XX has got this faster clear that's come through, but Tien is starting to slowly win out on the camps that he has.
And with the wards we saw, it was the ability to track, right? Tien knows that top side, there is going to be a jungler there soon, that XX will be nearby. He's hung around here for a while into Maple, who's low on mana.
Smart call from Maple there. Didn't go in with the distortion, so Tien didn't want to try and go aggressive into the mid lane until the W was down from the LeBlanc.
Now, I guess we've gone through all lanes, bar FLICKR and Khan. Electrocute here on the Kiana top. We have seen this a couple of times now from FLICKR. He loves this pick in the top lane, and a lot of the time ends up roaming the map, looking to influence the rest of LNG.
And he's used it really well against this Aatrox in a lot of situations, because the way this W works on the Kiana, you can look to dodge away from a lot of the Dark Blade procs, you can hop pretty effectively away from the Infernal Chains, and then you've got great trading power with this Electrocute, constantly spamming it onto the health bar of the Aatrox, and he just can't heal up through it. So watch as this game starts to progress, how Khan deals with that, and if FLICKR can open up this lead, push in these waves effectively, and get the roam you were just talking about.
I'm looking towards that level 6, which you'll be hitting soon. Serrated Dirk already picked up, and that's nice and early for FLICKR as a top laner. And with double TP compositions, a lot of the time we see the ability to dive bot, match the aggression, as you said so well earlier on, matching the aggression of FPX. Can be quite difficult, but it looks like LNG have set up to do it here. They were already the ones who forced out the bottom lane, and with no heal on LWX, the potential is there.
Tien and Crisp now forming up as a duo to start getting vision towards this dragon. Or not Olaf. Well, Olaf is great as well, but Shrundle as well is great at looking towards this dragon and trying to steal that away solo. But unfortunately, with the Felios not really being in a position to push this wave, they need to group up, and they do spot XX.
And he's going the long way around. Look, here comes Tien once again onto XX. They're going to get the Winter's Bite. The passive through. The flash over the wall matched by Tien as a heal from Dwan. But XX has to burn the flash, priority given over to this dragon.
FPX, that's all they needed. They take the dragon, and you can see Maple's roaming across, but it's too late. The play comes through from FPX.
He has level 6, but you're right, Doomby as well, able to poke him down. Maple looking for the trade while this is going on. Dragon is secured, but for Maple, I don't think this is the correct play. He's gotten a little bit low. Maple's going to have to back away, and Doomby now in a healthy state in lane.
And look at how Khan is playing this. He's pushed in mid, great. He can start to roam down towards this.
No.
Or pushed in top, start to roam down towards mid. The delay on Maple as well means he'll have to stick around. But Khan picks up this Scuttle Crab for himself. So it means that XX can't look to fight around this right as FLICKR hits the level 6.
With the opening here from FPX. Gold before was going LNG's way, but the ability to push out the wave, Doomby to come through mid here, and force Maple to stick around. He's actually going to stick around himself. But FPX now have the advantage in the bottom lane. Heal almost up for LWX after the earlier trade. And Light still has 10 CS down here, but for FPX, you know that this Trundle is 6 and now going towards bot, or at least almost 6.
I think right now FPX are taking it a little bit slow because, well, they scale really well off of 1 to 2 items. When LWX has got his IE, his Essence Reaver into his Zeal item, you've got Doimby who will be getting the Triforce or the Manamune. Still wait to see what direction he wants to go with that. But at least here, they're getting a nice, slow early game for themselves where XX isn't able to do too much against them.
I'm also going to say, the last time I cast a Doomby with Corki, he picked up a Black Cleaver. So let's not rule anything out. Like,
how dark are these technologies? Is there?
Man, there's some crazy builds that have come out from Doomby in the past, so nothing is really below his standard at this point. He started with the Cull. We'll have to see what comes first. He's backing now. Let's see what we get. All right, Manamune is going to, or Manamune, excuse me, is going to be the start here for the Corki mid.
Picking up the tier nice and early. So, as well, having the Cull in his back pocket means that not only is this build going to accelerate him into the mid game because the Manamune is a cheaper item, but the Cull as well, giving that extra influx of gold, means that Doimi's going to hit his mid game pretty damn hard. And when you can look towards likes of Khan on this Aatrox and LWX to try and match that, I think FPX have a good mid game that they can work with. The thing that I'm seeing here though is LNG hit just as hard, if not harder, at that point as well. They've got great setup from FLICKR. XX will still be really strong in this Olaf when paired with the Cosmic Radiance.
We'll have to see if they can get there. At this point, of course, it's pretty even in gold, but FPX is starting up another objective. XX is not there in time. They'll spot Tien back on the rotation. Now the Trundle ready to go back. Cinderhulk should be picked up with Rift Herald in hand and the ability to start exposing a lane. Cancels back in the end and package. Oh no! Undertow flashed away from Ragnarok. They actually want to commit to this. Second Undertow land and they can dive this. Big mistake from the world champion mid laner.
That was a massive mistake from Doimby. You know he regretted that the instant he saw the Olaf. kill goes over, and I was just about to say, LNG we describe as the opportunists. When they can find an opportunity to pick a kill or take a camp, take a Rift Herald, they'll go for it. They didn't find the opportunity to take the Rift Herald, but Doinby gives them the opportunity for a kill.
And they put XX, who's been slow on these rotations towards objectives, with the first kill of the game as well. And LNG with 700 gold in their pocket at 10 minutes. Plus Maple, because of that play, gets turret plating on the LeBlanc, who got bullied out earlier on. That's 160 gold that he shouldn't have.
And now can set himself up for success when we start to look towards these skirmishes. Maple can do a lot of work in threatening LWX or Doinby on the back line, and there's not any real form of hard CC to control Maple in these fights. So if this LeBlanc gets ahead, she can cause a lot of troubles for FPX.
Because we know that already these solo lanes for LNG are so crucial, and while the top lane has been a CS discrepancy so far for FLICKR, he's still been untouched. Whether that remains or not, we're about to find out.
Doinby really wants to get these roams off, but will be spotting a ward, which means XX can actually look to help out here.
Khan's going to go into the world ender, try to pull FLICKR back. That was so close. Doinby now shows himself, and XX is not.
Maple starting to roam up, see if he can catch Doinby, taking a little bit of a more risky path back to lane.
Hang on, Swan might be in a bit of trouble here. The Winter's Bite again starts off the passive. Concussive Blow has been pretty good so far in this game, 2.5 health, but that won't be a problem for him as Teleport now getting channeled from the top turret. TM wants to dive this one. FLICKR goes invisible, wastes time here. Onto XX to come into the fight. A great ulti to send them back. Will he survive as he burns down? The subjugation doesn't kill him in the end. And now XX underneath the turret wants to stop this. TN is tanking up, has to flash away. Maple joining the play. And Rift Herald finally goes down. Now the wave has to be reset.
Bit messy from FPX, not able to find the kill. LNG are still sitting here though. XX needs to be very careful. Very low, but still has Ragnarok available.
Double distortion clears out the wave immediately there from Maple. So FPX have to back away. Turret stays standing. Only the gold plating in hand of FPX. Solo lanes plus jungle.
And you see how quickly that FPX want to try and accelerate this game. They have the shortest win time in the LPL, and they're looking that even with this composition where we talked about them wanting to wait a minute or two to get some of these items, they want to put the pedal down as quickly as possible.
But LNG won't let them. This is the starting of a Dragon on Vision. Tiana's back, so is Doinby, looking to contest this, but doesn't seem like they have the manpower or the timing advantage. A Dragon apiece with an Ocean Rift now spawning game one.
LNG are doing a great job to weather this early game aggression from FPX. As I say that though, Light.
There, Gravitum is there. Winter's Bite to get the slowdown. Light now at half health. They flash forward, commit here with Exhaust down. He gets blocked down. Ultimate there. The Cosmic Radiance. Is it in time? No, they can't kill him. They haven't ordered him. LWX in the middle of it as well. They get collapsed on. And LNG say FPX, go home.
Light baits them in. I don't know if it's intentional, but Duan comes in clutch, saves the AD carry of LNG, but because you TP'd FLICKR down towards the bottom side of the map, it will be answered for, or sorry, not Maple down to the bottom side of the map. FLICKR is forced to cover mid lane, which means Khan can take the top lane.
Top lane already taken, exploded by FPX, but in the meantime, LNG sharing some of that turret plating love with XX and Maple. The two newest members of this team strike back against FPX. A 2-0 Olaf, a 1-0 LeBlanc. And gold shared throughout. LNG are ahead by 1,000.
And they're onto the crucial members of this composition. XX and Maple need to be fed enough where Olaf can run through people as XX and still deal the damage he needs to before going down. And as well, Maple can threaten onto the back line of FPX. This bait was, I'm putting it as a bait, okay? It was amazing from Light. It ends up getting the kills over towards LNG. And even FPX, the team that we say likes to be ahead and is ahead in the majority of their games when it comes to the 15-minute mark, are sitting ever so slightly behind LNG.
The lifesteal from Light kept him alive alongside Dwan's Q.
Yeah.
And the ultimate bait is what we'll have to call it after that one. Light makes his debut against FPX here. And not in the LPL, against the team itself, but 800 gold apiece you're seeing. Light didn't get any, but he got the attention down in the bottom lane. He has a CS advantage himself. And as LNG are testing FPX in game number 1, just remember what is coming up next. The Herald soon, Dragon after that. And XX is so damn fed. At this point, if you channel your energy into this Olaf, you're probably going to die.
And that's the problem that is now facing FPX. LNG have gotten Maple onto his first item, and XX is off to the jungle item as well. So in and around this Rift Herald, LNG can definitely look to fight. And a great flank from Flandre where he can use the supreme display of talent onto some of these corridors FPX will be trying to get vision of in River will be perfect for LNG.
And I was going to note as well that because we're seeing this new build on the Corki with the Manamune, Corki before we're like, oh, Trinity Force, one item power spike. Because he's got the Manamune, he diverts that attention away from that big first item we know him for. And we'll talk about that in a second because LWX in trouble. What? Oh no, not Season 10 again. Flandre with a weak ultimate exhaust is going to come through as well. Khan is diving this one. The flash on top and Doomby nails him right in the back.
FPX are picking up kills across the board. We just said LNG can look to fight a Rift Herald, but they don't fight a Rift Herald. Instead, you end up with the 1v1 XX versus LWX. And it's lights out for the Olaf. Don't worry though, guys. Aphelios got nerfed. He's not able to do that anymore.
Well, having said that, let's see. Maple's going to go in as well. And
okay,
yeah,
there you
LeBlanc
go.
is still LeBlanc. That's now everyone's like, thank you. They're clapping.
Now imagine that LNG had decided to do that at the Rift Herald, where they had Maple come in on a flank. You have Flandre set up with the supreme display of talent, and XX has a cosmic radiance to keep himself alive. Unfortunately, though, LNG don't play towards their strengths. They give FPX the opportunity to fight back. Now they've gotten a couple of kills, they picked up the Rift Herald, and they can use that to crack open this mid lane turret.
Super surprised to see an Olaf who was very fed earlier on run in and die like that. So for LWX, he does get beaten down by Maple, which is a good sign. And the optimist in me says at least LNG are still slightly ahead in gold. Flandre tracking with the lens here. And Khan gets spotted out trying to find another, or rather his first solo kill this game. And I want to point out as well, look at LNG. 4 lenses, 1 scrying ward. They are really determined to deny vision.
And that is because of the way that their composition wants to play. We talked about flanks from Maple, flanks from Flandre. They need the vision denial for that.
But you can't get it if you're just going to die to Khan. 1 versus 1. Flandre flashes out. He's the bigger top laner, Mr. Khan.
And Flandre opted into this lane. We've seen it a couple of times where he goes towards this Kiana into the Aatrox matchup. We talked about how this is supposed to function, but Khan is a different beast altogether. Now drawing attention to the top side just from his play alone, FPX feel comfortable putting the Rift Herald in.
And this Herald is dealing with a very weak turret in the mid lane. Gets the charge, won't kill it at this point. Maybe not weak enough. He'll swipe his hands across, but the poke coming through. FPX channel there, rage through the mid lane. And they get the second turret with now a bit of a gold lead in their back pocket.
Look where Flandre is, though. He snuck into the back line. They're trying to fight FPX when they go for this dragon.
But Khan is running right into it. He's like, no, not again. The ultimate used on this Aatrox. World Ender used a little bit late, and Flandre still gets it. A pick is a pick in front of the dragon.
And this is why LNG need these sweepers in their back pockets. Keep control of the vision and deny FPX knowing where Flandre is, where Maple is. That secures them, the second dragon.
Okay, and when you've got an Ocean Rift with this Callista, with people that can stay in combat for a while like the Olaf, that's not too bad. LNG still testing FPX, and we're at a tied game here at 18 minutes. The OP highlight, even on Maple this game around. Against FPX, you don't normally take it away from their limelight.
Well, this is because FPX have been so dominant in their games. They have an 85% win rate after they get first blood, 80% win rate after first tower.
Why are you there? He's flashed away. He wanted to face check that bottom side and he gets punished.
And FPX are not looking dominant at all in this game. LNG, a team that we weren't expecting very much from in this series, have now stepped up. They're looking like they can really contend with FPX. And not often, at least since week 1, have we seen FPX in the back foot. But that is most certainly where we find ourselves now.
Remember our story was after week 1, Khan came in and they lost both series. FPX then brought in Gimgoon after our big elongated break. 8 series winning streak. Now to be fair, Khan played the last series, so he did pick up 1 individually. But, you know, my thoughts were, well, Gimgoon's a better top laner. But now that Khan's back, FPX have opted into running him consistently, as we expected when he first joined the roster at the start of this year.
It looks like Khan has not quite been able to find the success that he wanted on this Aatrox on the sideline. Yes, he's bullying out Flandre, but the problem is that he's not able to push it far enough because LNG have the rest of the game controlled. So now you've got Doinby and Khan pushing on towards this bottom lane. They're trying to crack open that turret as quickly as possible before any of these other objectives start to spawn.
Yeah, we're resetting a little bit here. Baron's going to spawn soon, just to be noted. Flandre in a solo lane by himself, but Doinby and Khan, they've been brothering up here in this game one, and a bit more gold between them.
It's nice to see. Khan coming in, wants a little bit of a new guy to sit beside when he joins the class, and Doinby's doing that this time around.
New guy?
Yeah.
Hey, both of them ain't you. Both of them very, very experienced, but Doinby's going to walk into a trap once again. The package used. Exhaust onto Maple. You can see the potency of the burst out of this champion. We're doing this for real.
Yeah, you got Olaf and you got Kalista. You can do this Baron in 20 minutes.
And Flandre looking for the engage to turn around there. The ultimate from Flandre hits 3 people. Tien's dead immediately. Maple comes in with a TP and joins the fray, but Doinby's still charging forward. They're a man down.
Flandre finds the perfect Supreme display of talent to pick off Tien. No jungler available, but the rest of FPX are here. Maple needs to find more damage onto LWX and Doinby before LNG can look for this fight.
You can see how fearful they are of this. LeBlanc, he gets onto Doinby, locks him down. Now Kalista wants to run. The Dazzle comes through as well. Cosmic Radiant onto 5 people. LNG survive. They run forward. FPX loses Chris. There's the Ophelia assault that gets a bit of damage. Flandre's flushed on by Khan, so maybe the turnaround here, but Maple flushing away himself. LNG still won out in the trade, but FPX stopped the Baron.
They do just about, but you can see LNG, they know their strengths here, pushing FPX to the limit. Maple hiding in the bush, trying to see if he can spot anyone taking a step too far forward, but it will be FPX backing away. Again though, look at the items that are starting to come through on both sides. Triforce completed now for Doinby. You've got that Runin's Hurricane for LWX. This is where FPX are starting to hurt, as long as they're not getting caught out on the side lanes by Maple.
But I'm still very fearful against LNG, a team that you look across the board and you say, okay, how's that scaling simply look? Against FPX right now, a Corki and a Felios, a Trundle who will subjugate that Olaf or Taric and make him unable to kill.
But this is the thing, they're not looking to kill Tien. LNG are looking for the backline, and we saw it here. The Supreme display of talent sets up the kill, well, yes, onto Tien, but Maple is threatening the backline, trying to get onto Doinby, forcing back LWX. This is the problem for FPX right now. They're playing a split game, which means there's no vision for them against LNG's assassins. That's where LNG will win out every single time.
Not when you have 4 lenses on the side of LNG. Now, of course, they step a bit too far forward here with Cosmic Radiance. And then the Felios ult comes through and Khan picks up his first kill. I heard a flash at the back end of that. I think that was from a replay. Don't
get too excited. Although, that being said, get excited for this.
Now FPX are doing it. Is this the right call? Definitely not. But we'll see what happens because of it. Flandre spotted out. Doinby wants to take on the 1v1. He's got Tien right beside him. But he's out there. Just in the nick of time.
So FPX were thinking, hey, LNG are going to start going down towards this dragon that's spawning, so we can look to take this off of that plane. LNG don't collapse on it straight away though, so FPX get a bit of damage off the Baron. Now they're returning to it as Light has started the dragon on the bottom side.
Okay, here we go again then, I guess. Light here is just like a jungler, only more Rendy. As that's going to go down, let's turn our attention back over to Baron. Khan is going to get sandwiched over the wall with World and trying to draw the attention away. While FPX now have an Olaf in the pit. They kill XX and they get the Baron. LNG were looking at Khan, but he takes so much of their eyes away from the big purple worm.
So LNG do get to soul point, but Baron goes to FPX. Khan giving his life there. Doesn't matter. Now FPX can look to play through Doinby and Khan once again. Spread out that map. But the problem here is Maple 205. Morello Nomicon completed. He can work very well against these side lane pressures of FPX, especially with the double teleport that LNG are running.
Especially with other members hitting 2 items as well. Flandre with the 2 lethality items in the top lane. XX close to that Black Cleaver, plus you have Light with the BF sword on top of his Renan's Hurricane. So pretty beefy here for LNG, but with the Baron to delay this game, FPX getting control through the river, controlling vision, and with 2 minutes to play with the buff.
They have delayed, but it feels like only kicking the can down the road. You've got 3 dragons on LNG in just under 4 minutes. That soul point will be up. An ocean soul as well. Crucial for these team fights, especially for the likes of XX. Or this Olaf can make that ocean dragon do work.
See what happens in the meantime though. Timer in the top left that you have to keep track of here for LNG, but FPX group buffers mid.
Watch the flanks though. Maple's on one side. XX was beginning to root over into the mid lane as well.
But they know he's here. Pings are going down from FPX. They're looking for this LeBlanc. Easy to get away here though from Maple, testing the waters quite easily.
The problem though, as we already talked about, is FPX don't have any CC to majorly deal with Maple. He's free to distortion in and out.
Well, this time Doomby's going to go forward. Is this the same mistake? He's done it twice this game. Cosmic Radiance with a flash here from XX. Or rather, he just ran forward. The Aphelios ultimate comes through, but it's onto a Maple clone, knocked up here onto Tien. Now running for his life. FPX have not won this fight. LNG brace forward.
And when FPX are the ones with the Baron buff, they're getting dissuaded. They needed to make this work.
Flandre, it's still not over. Khan waiting in the wings. Now going to get spotted out by a ward. But if Khan does this, Juan's nearby, people resetting. This is not a safe 1 versus 1. Khan walks into the lane. Flandre now knows he's got backup. This Aatrox needs to leave. An easy escape path built.
FPX will be able to reset, but LNG once again come out the victors. The thing here though is, even when we look at the kills, we're like LNG are winning, but they're not. Look at the gold. FPX have gotten advantages when it comes to CS in the mid, in the top. They're the ones that have also got more of those towers in their favor. So LNG with a lot of standing gold on the map and unable to crack it because of the pressure FPX are continuously putting on.
The wave clear that they have here through the Aphelios, Corki, even the Aatrox in the side lane. Also Khan with a Death Dance, the new Death Dance by the way in 10.6. But more importantly, Doomby's build. Third item is the Phantom Dancer instead of something like the Infinity Edge. So a bit of safety given here, and especially going up against Maple. Surprising not to see that Hex Drinker, but instead a Zeolite.
Worried about the assassination from Flandre as well. This is a happy medium between Maple and Flandre. Doimby opting, again, as he said, safety first. Shield off of the Phantom Dancer will help out quite a bit in these team fights.
Also has a Cloak of Agility now, so you know IE is coming fourth. Crucial time to look at the items, Dagny. You're talking about Ocean Soul. That is on the horizon. A minute 10 remaining here. And on the bottom of your screen, you see FPX only got 500 gold from that last Baron play.
Watch how LNG are playing this Dragon Soul, though. Vision is completely in their favor in the river. Flandre's moved in here to clear out Vision in the jungle as well. This is what we're talking about. This is how LNG will win these fights, with flanks on unsuspecting FPX.
Flandre knows it's not water. Control ward in that pit there. Trying to poke him out. They think, where is this Kiana? Where are LNG? Moving as a 5-man group.
Maple hiding in the bush will now be spotted. Flandre will get spotted on this ward. He's clearing out as well.
The hit light here with the Winter's Bite. Khan wants to go in. Sends up the W as well. Khan getting bullied out a little bit here. Light moving forward very confidently. Maple jumps in as well. Khan has to flash. They use the heal for him as well. FPX do not have control in this fight. And now they've lost control through top.
And how do you try and control Flandre and Maple when you don't have the CC to do it? Crisp is the only one that can really provide that guaranteed CC. A little bit from Khan as well, but you're not hitting any of these bites in the right places.
Yeah, wants the base check here. Double Dazzle coming through. They're just going to delete him immediately. Khan is TPing in, but I think the rest of FPX are going to die. The flash away from LWX. This supreme display of talent might be okay. The Aphelios sends down the light, but LWX now gets engaged on and blown up. LWX is gone, and so are FPX's chances of running forward.
Still low health bars in LNG. Dewan will need to start gathering that health back up for his team. But Toynbee and Khan have been pushed back. Maple still on the hunt here. Khan is low.
It doesn't matter. That's an Ocean Soul. And whether Khan goes down or not, you've just given over something massive. Now going to be looking for the dunk, but Maple's got this in the bag. One more to boot. The thumbs go up. And so do the Ants marching towards the Baron coming up.
It's 45 seconds before Khan spawns, though, because of that pick. Baron is only in 30 seconds. LNG come back now, spend that beautiful amount of gold they've just picked up, and pick up this Baron for themselves as well.
But it looks like Maple's sticking around the map for now. The other members of LNG did indeed back, though. With Ocean Soul, you don't need to worry about sustain at this point. everything in the bag for LNG success now on the table. Baron now in 5 seconds. You mentioned Khan before. 20 seconds till this top laner comes through, and without that TP, this just looks like FPX are going to have to give over Baron.
Yeah, Light and XX have started this up. And again, how do you try and approach this pit? No vision on where Flandre is, zero vision on Maple, and this Baron is going down too quick.
It's hard for FPX to even get near this objective right now. They'll be spotted on their entrance, but Guan will zone this one away. He's saying going down quick, it's a 2K, hang on. Now it's gone. But FPX have walked into a choke, so please leave, and they do.
Wasn't sure if Flandre was going to go for the Supreme Display of Talent with the direction FPX were walking out, but they got the Baron, they got what they came for, and now, as long as Maple doesn't get caught here, they can look to start to put pressure onto the inner turrets of FPX.
3K gold lead against the world champions. That's the claim to fame here for LNG in game number 1, with Rabadon's almost on the way here for the mid laner, LeBlanc in Maple. And also with the BT Plus, the mortal reminder here from Light as well. This has been a great game to showcase Light, who is not the starting AD carry.
And it showcased the strengths of LNG as well. LNG don't always have the strongest of early games, but when they do get ahead of 15 minutes, they win 78% of their games. This is again LNG, who, yes, they were even, but now that they're ahead, will make sure that they're closing out this game.
It's about FPX's defense at this point. How do you do it? Flandre moving away from the side lane, threatening through mid. Now there is a lot of wave clear through LWX. And with Khan on the side, LNG are not getting over cocky here with the push.
They're trying to get the waves in order. Look at the top, look at the bottom. Now this mid wave is going to join right as these side lanes hit the bot and top lanes. So this is perfect wave placement from LNG.
We've talked about coordination of 3 different waves in the LPL and how teams have really failed with lane manipulation, I believe we called it. But FPX still going to clear this one away, but Doomby in the side lane against Maple. This is so scary, even as the Corki dodging away. That is one combo, and Doomby's at half health.
A Phantom Dancer popped as well, so now Doomby's going to scatter to the winds, and LNG will make these towers crumble as well. Flandre now moving across the mid lane, trying to set up another wave for LNG to collapse on after this top lane push.
And remember, Khan's bot without TP as well. He has to make the long trek towards top, towards mid to meet Flandre. But LNG have demanded the attention, now moving towards mid. That's on top of Khan. World Ender no more. 4 versus 5. LWX almost dies. Heal on command. This is not looking good for FPX, but man, LNG are playing
Streak
fire.
be damned, LNG want to finish this game out. They've cracked the base, they're onto Tian.
Okay, Dazzle onto Tien, he's used the subjugate. Here comes the ultimate from the Taric. 4 people into the Cosmic Radiance as Tien is quite low. The poke still coming through. The Moonlight Vigil does nothing against LNG.
The Moonlight Vigil just gives another proc of that Ocean Soul. Everyone from LNG happy and healthy and pushing forward.
Just doesn't die. Light got hit and chunked, and it doesn't matter. At full health with the overheal from BT once again. Inhibitor crack mid, inhibitor crack top. That's the Baron utilized massively now with a 6K gold lead.
Blade of the Rune King for Light, Bloodthirster for Light, Ocean Soul for Light. This Callista is having the time of her life in team fights, and Light coming in over Asura in this game number 1, and it's looking pretty strong as a case for Light.
And now at this point you're like, okay, all we have to do is put the nail in the coffin if you're LNG. We're so far ahead that FPX doesn't feel like they're ever going to catch this one. Elder coming up in a minute 30 as well. One last fight in FPX.
I don't even think LNG go for Elder. If I'm on their side, I'm like, look, we're so far ahead right now.
Yeah.
We're only going to give an opportunity for FPX to come back if we go for this Elder. Instead, use what we just did. Flandre in top, Maple in the mid, and then we can look to push in these waves without having to go for this dragon. Because God forbid Tian gets a steal, could be LNG losing that next team fight.
Well, FPX right now are dealing with their waves. Doomy gets a big shove towards topside just to give them time, but now, even without the Baron, the 2 solo laners join up, hold hands, and kick that one down. An inhibitor turret towards the bottom side. Now the attention of LNG.
Mid has just been pushed in, so they're waiting on this next wave for LNG.
Hello, Maple. That was crisp, by the way. He does have defense.
Many people on this FPX side don't. I'm waiting for Maple to say one more peekaboo. who he'll be able to catch out there. And LNG, though, unfortunately, no Baron. Wave clear from LWX is a strong point right now. And this is why I want to see the 1-1-3. Split up your map, spread your pressure.
Oh, and Chris might be caught out here. Unbreakable goes up, but that's not the target they're looking for. Now onto XX, he has to flash away. A small mistake here from the jungler, but still LNG with control. That Elder now spawning, but LNG, as you said before, they don't want to look for this, they want to find the pick.
They're looking for the pick right now, is Derrix.
Bates Call goes into the middle on top of Chris. Now they're looking for Ward Doomby, but they only find LWX with the ultimate. The ultimate does come through from Tuan in the end, but Light is so damn big. FPX getting pushed back here. The Dazzle is good, but is it good enough? LNG, they're in a 4 versus 4. They're poking down Tuan. Doomby with a double kill. Oh no, they're jumping on top of Light as well. The Callista gets exploded, and this is the problem. One mistake is all it takes. A good trade from Maple, granted, but FPX still have 3.
LNG didn't play to their strengths. The flank is where Flandre thrives, where Maple thrives, but they tried the front-to-back team fight, and that's where you have Con and Tien step forward with Crisp, deny Maple access. Flandre gets focused, and FPX get this Elder Dragon unless XX can make a big steal for the team.
If he comes in here, he dies for that Elder. No matter what right now, FPX maintain control. They have the Elder Dragon and 4 people to utilize it. Game back on here for FPX. And again, one mistake is all it takes. Now an issue for LNG.
The reason I didn't want to see them go for this Dragon was because it would give over an opportunity for FPX to come back, but they give it to them anyway. Maple and everyone is focused onto Tian. That's not who you were trying to beat down here. Maple is looking at Doimby, LWX, same with Flandre. And even when Flandre tries to set up for that play onto LWX, nobody from LNG is to follow. And with Maple down, or not with Maple down, with Flandre down, they're able to turn on towards Light. They can grip through this Olaf, and it's all a disaster.
Maple's still so huge. The reason that he took down someone, and he also, I believe, took the GA away from LWX. There you go, there's the damage.
80 for Tien.
Well, Tien died at the start. FPX now with Elder, a channeling to Baron. Now, LNG want to take the push battle here, but this has already gone Baron recalls in hands. That's an easy trade.
Very easy trade. They'll be able to get back here as well. Maple have to put some damage down, but without Flandre sticking around and LNG not in a position, they've got to back away. So now you've got Eldered and Baroned up FPX. They can look to stall out this game. And now we're starting to see these full items come through. Doimby fully stocked. LWX nearly there. Only got the last whisper, or the last whisper to come through to finish off that mortal reminder. And now, no longer this gold lead makes it... Well, what gold lead, actually?
37 minutes into the game. You mentioned Doomby here with full items. Essence Reaver, as well as that Infinity Edge with the final 2. Most importantly, Maple trying to bring it back here. Elder for 45 seconds, Baron for 2 minute 10. FPX running up the mid lane. Maple has not been spotted. He's going for the push instead.
Going to see if he can join in the bottom wave. Has that teleport available still as well? If you're in this situation, try to wave clear as much as possible with your composition and give up this mid lane inhibitor, trade it for the bottom lane, and hope that you haven't died in the process and FPX can look to end.
But if someone of LNG dies here, FPX push these turrets so quick, that'll be the game. LNG needs to collapse. Something needs to happen. Inhibitor's going to go down. FPX are not done with this.
One mistake was all it took.
And
7
now
seconds.
Flandre, that's the mistake. I mean, he just runs into them and FPX take him down. First Nexus turret, as well as the ultimate from Taric once more. But XX goes into GA. There's the Brom ulti too. Chris runs forward with the rest of FPX, and Maple's too late to the show. Doomy's way too large. Alongside there's the Felios in LWX. A good attempt from LNG, but one mistake cost their life.
We talk about how one mistake against FPX can be your